Hello, my pickles, and those that are gonna be pickles one day. I just know you'll be giving up the sugars and grains. I just know. It's so nice to have you all here, listening away. As you can see outside, it's daytime. Look at that. And I'm just getting ready to eat lunch, and what did I think of? I thought of you guys. And why did I think of you guys? Because I was having my bulletproof coffee, and I was watching a keto, low-carb, high-fat man with his podcast, much like mine, except he's much more technical, but the same sort of deal. He keeps talking to the audience, and I just love it. And so I was listening to him, and this morning when I walked, I was listening to Dr. Tom O'Bryan, O''Bryan. And if you are interested in learning all about things in your body, things that could go wrong, hopefully he's still on the summit, or maybe he's a bonus interview, and unless you've paid, you can't listen to him. But you can find him on YouTube with lots of different interviews, and this man knows his stuff. And the thing that I like about him, I don't have a functional MD, but if I did, that MD would be looking at all the causes of things, and instead of treating the thing, it would be more information is needed about you and what you do and what you eat and who you are. And I like that sort of thing. And so in listening to him, you can learn and earn an awful lot more knowledge about yourself and whether the keto, low-carb, high-fat food plan could be for you as well. And one of the things he talks about, which could be a little bit about why I said what I said about pickles, those that aren't, but they're listening, maybe one day they'll be, you're still welcome here, and those that are drinking the Kool-Aid that doesn't have any fake sugar, real sugar, or grains in it, okay? You have made the transition to fat adapted, and you're not having grains, and you're not having sugar, and you're not having artificial sugars either, hopefully, although they don't say not to, like they would sugar. So he's very, very interesting, and one of the things that he's talking about in the podcast that I was listening to was don't throw more gas on your fire. What is your fire? Your fire is inflammation. What is inflammation? It's not something like a hot throat and you can feel it. You could be doing it to your insides every time you eat sugar. And that's definitely not going to get you to the ketogenic place that you want to be, or the fat burning place that you'd like to be. I'm not doing blood strips or glucometers or any of the technical stuff right now. I do my macros. I make sure I get a boatload of fat every day, and I do. And very low carbs. Yesterday I had no berries whatsoever. My carbs were, extremely low. The carbs that I do have are fibrous carbs. What does that mean? That means they are vegetables, or vegetables as one comedy show called it. And it means that today I'm having a salad with baby organic spinach and organic romaine with grated carrots, red cabbage, and mushrooms in it. And to that I will be having 1 tablespoon of EVOO, which will be the California Rich and Robust olive oil. I'm also having the hamburger soup that is a keto one, and I made it in my Instant Pot. It's a little bit different than the recipe. I didn't put the pickle in it, I didn't put the garlic in it, I didn't put the mustard in it, but everything else I did put in it, and I am going to heat that up on top of the stove, and then I'm going to add 1 slice of Cabot sharp cheddar cheese on top and kind of get a little bubble out of that, and that will be served alongside the salad. Can't wait. So, adding gas to your fire. That means eating more sugar. That means eating a lot of grains. And he talked a lot about today grains and having grains that don't spike your glycemic index or your your blood sugar, things like that. And I guess one of the things is the definites are wheat, rye, and barley. And those are definite with gluten. They, if you don't know if you're gluten sensitive, sometimes you might be and you don't even know it, hence that inflammation. You don't have to have signs of a celiac person to have a sensitivity to those 3 grains. But then he talked about the other grains too. And the one that's on the fence with most people, even the experts and the doctors, just like him, a doctor, is oats. And some people say they're gluten-free. Other people say, stay away from them. Not good either for gluten-sensitive people. And he kind of explained why. He said that oftentimes oats are processed in the same plants with the same equipment and transported in the same vehicle to transport as wheat, and it gets cross-contaminated. And so when you think that you're having your nice gluten-free oats, they were processed in a plant that has wheat, transported in a vehicle that also had wheat in it. And so that's where the danger could happen. The things could commingle, and what you think is a gluten-free product, the yummy oats for your oatmeal, isn't. So you need to be very, very careful. And when you are having, if you are having, oats that say gluten-free, make sure it says somewhere on the packaging, probably on the back, that it was processed in a wheat-free plant. Because hence, they can still tout the gluten-free, but I'm sorry, if it wasn't cleaned properly, the stuff could eke in. And if you are a celiac, you can't go near it because you just can't afford 1 little gram, right? So, fueling the fire. The thing about low carb, high fat and keto is that you need to be either all in or not in. Because if you're having a low carb, high fat food plan and then you add in wheat, you're now in a standard American diet, and your weight you will not lose, and your weight could stall, and you're not going to get the effect that you need to get, which is to become fat adapted. You need to remove all of that. You can't have just 5% or 10% wheat or grains and call yourself low carb, high fat, or keto. It's just one of those things. I can't have a little drink. I can't have 1 cigarette and call myself a non-smoker or a non-drinker. And for the low carb, high fat, and keto world, it's the same thing. No grains, no sugar, no kidding. So, until you decide to be all in, continue to eat the way that you were eating before. You can eliminate your grains and sugars, but don't think that you're going to become fat adapted and lose the weight and not still let little things in. You need to become an advanced label reader, because wheat and or gluten and or other grains are lurking absolutely everywhere. One of the first things Dr. Davis talks about, the Wheat Belly and the Total Health Doctor, is there's wheat in Twizzlers. So if you think you're having a low sugar sort of thing that's going to tide you over or keep you from attacking the bag of Halloween candy, you need to read the ingredients. Nothing out there is really clean anymore. There is stuff stuck everywhere. If indeed there are wheat or grains or real sugar in something, it would have to say someplace. But you also need to be an expert in what is sugar. There are something like 56 different types of sugar. And so you can look those up and print that little puppy and hang that. You need a cork board to hang all the things that you need to be looking out for with your food plan. There is so much to keto and low carb, high fat that you can't learn it in 1, 2, 3. You need to really devote tons and tons of time. And then, of course, you need to track as well. You need to make sure you get plenty, plenty, plenty of water. Okay? Some people even say you have to have some sort of psyllium husk. I know one man talks about having that so there's no constipation. I don't have sugar, and I don't have any grains whatsoever, and I don't have a constipation problem. Your body will adapt, especially if you're having enough leafy green vegetables every day, still tracked. Then there's a whole school out there that doesn't do the net carbs. So if you're having 80 grams of all types of carbs, including all the vegetables, some little bits of maybe fruit, all of it counts. You don't subtract the fiber from the total carbs and come up with net carbs. That's a whole school as well. I try to keep my carbs low every day, and I've been doing this for almost 14 months now. So I am pretty used to what I'm getting when I have things. You need to keep your protein down on a low carb, high fat food plan that's also keto. And that means that I'm having, for example, in the hamburger soup, I don't think I'm having 3 ounces of hamburger tonight. Today, for lunch, I'm having yogurt with nut butters, 1 tablespoon of cashew, 1 tablespoon of almond, nut butters from Nature's Promise, sold at Stop and Shop and also Giant. And so, it's not like I'm having a slab of beef or 2 or 3 ounces of like rolled turkey or ham with a pickle on the inside and a slice of cheese. My protein is really kept low on this food plan. Not a lot of animal protein at all. And so there's so much to learn. You have to trust the process, expect to make mistakes, be gentle to yourself, but just remember, please remember, you need to be all into low carb, high fat, or not. Because if you're having high fat diet, which means the healthy oils and avocado and things like that, with your leafy greens and your small amounts of protein, and then you start adding grains and sugars, you've still got the standard American diet that's high fat with grains, and it could keep you either gaining or stalled, and that's not the purpose. So just be aware that there's some things, which is why I began my no sugars, no grains, no wheat, nothing. The only thing I have is almond flour or coconut flour. Almonds are nuts, coconuts are fruits. So those 2 flours that I use the coconut flour for thickening sauces, and I use the almond flour for my fathead pizza. So you need to be very, very mindful and careful. So I began first with the Wheat Belly diet with Dr. Davis, watching tons and tons and tons of YouTube podcasts that he did all about it, and I gave up the wheat for the 1 month in August 2015. By September 2015, I got his Total Health book, which is all grains. It's the upgrade. And I had my aha, duh moment, because buying all these gluten-free cereals, breads, crackers, CRAP, it's junk food. It might be gluten-free, but it's still junk food. I don't need any of those things anymore. So then I gave up all grains. That means I don't even have oatmeal anymore. Would I love to have oatmeal? Yes. So any carbs that I have in my low carb, high fat food plan would be coming from a potato, a starchy potato, white, that I have on Saturdays, or a sweet potato that I have on rare and appropriate occasions. I like a half of a sweet potato with pork. The two just seem to go together for me. just like an acorn squash goes with a pork chop as well. So, do your homework. Do your homework. Love to have you be a pickle, which means low carb, high fat. Keto means no grains, no sugars, no artificial sugars, and you need to be careful of some of the highly processed, generally regarded as safe. I have stevia that is organic drops that I got at Trader Joe's. That's what I use. I do not have Truvia anymore because Truvia has been processed 55 times. It doesn't go from a green leaf to a white powder from that, right? So those 55 ways of processing it, I know one of those is bleach. Is bleach a healthy thing? Not necessarily. Not in my food, not in my coffee. So be careful. Do your homework. If you're going to have a stevia-based product, make it stevia. Make it stevia organic drops, not Truvia. Truvia is right there in the middle of the packets. The pink, yellow, and blue packets are no, never, ever, anytime. Not good for you. Trust me. Do your research. And then we've got the Truvia packets. Do your homework. And then we've got the xylitols that are generally regarded as safe that I have. I have the Xyla in my coffee. I don't have sugar anywhere else in my food plan at this time, except natural sugars coming from the organic berries that I have at lunch that I'm having today, 3 ounces, and then some of the veggies have naturally occurring sugars. What are you going to do? That's the way it rolls, as long as you get enough of them, because you want to avoid constipation, but you want to keep your macros in order. My macros are 70 to 80% fat every day. Every day. In a perfect world, I've got low carbs, but sometimes they're 15%, and then the protein, which is 15%. So that's how I roll. I kind of think that I'm still in maintenance. I went for an estimate of body parts in having things fixed, and the plastic surgeon said, this is all skin. This is all loose skin from losing your weight. You don't have any fat left on your body. I liked hearing that. So it would have to be removed. It's not going to be lost by me doubling down on my keto, low carb, high fat. It's loose skin. Now, do I look like the people that have lost 200 pounds? No, it's not as drastic, but I am old. And so I got a lot of thigh, arm stuff, belly stuff going on. Right here. I had him look at that. He said, that's loose skin. Happens to older women. You could have a facelift. No, I can't. So, trust me. Do your research and trust the process. And we're here to help you. We're here to help you give up and omit grains from your food plan. Add the healthy fats. Not have that fat phobia that I talked about. Be daring. Have that. It's great. Have the bacon. Have the fatty cuts of meat. Have the olive oil, extra virgin, first pressed, organic. Have the coconut oil, same thing. Organic, unrefined, first pressed. There's even 4 things that you want in a coconut oil. It's not like buying the first thing that you see. If it's refined, you don't want it. So, tons and tons and tons of homework needs to be done. Trust it. You learn as you go. I have made tons and tons and tons of mistakes in changing over to being fat adapted. No regrets. A lot of things in the trash. Yep, sometimes it can be costly, but now I'm getting a grip. And whenever I get a grip on something, I pass it along to you guys, because that's the point of this channel here, to make us all get a little bit smarter, an item at a time. So if you find out something, and there's somebody here on my YouTube channel that always is 5 steps ahead of me, and I'll talk about something, and then she'll say in a one-liner, did you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, no, darn, no. So Somebody's gone ahead. There's a trailblazer ahead of her, maybe. There's trailblazers ahead of all of us along the path. Everybody's a newbie at some point. So don't be afraid. Don't beat yourself up if you make an error. But work towards getting that grain out of your body, getting that sugar out of your body. You can do it. Millions of others are doing it. Even some people are giving up dairy. I'm not there yet. But no grains, no sugars, no artificial sweeteners. That's where I've started, and that's the place that I'm at today. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a very long Sarah. Wow, it's time to go eat my lunch. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.